So many stories of political gamesmanship and pop media bias pop up nowadays that one can become frustrated by the situation. So it's nice that occasionally we get to celebrate somebody who sticks up for himself and sticks it to the man. And in this case, this young guy is a hero in another way. His name is Anthony Borges, and he was the last person to have been released from the hospital after the terrible shooting in Parkland, Florida at Stoneman Douglas High. Mr. Borges had a message that really rings for anybody who's been watching the alternative media. He sent this message out to people like the Broward County Sheriff, Scott Israel, and the head of the Broward County Schools, Robert Runcie. And what did he say? He said, "You both failed us."
To Sheriff Israel of the Broward County Sheriff's Office and Robert Runcie, the superintendent of the school and schools in Broward, I want to thank you for visiting me at the hospital, but I want to say that both of you failed us students, teachers, and parents alike on so many levels.
And considering the fact that the police were called 45 times on young Nicholas Cruz and went to Nicholas Cruz's house 22 times, considering the fact that Mr. Cruz was not supposed to be able to get into the school, and yet he did, and considering the fact that the police officer who was supposed to be guarding over the children at the school is reported to have stayed outside while Mr. Cruz killed all those kids, one can see why Mr. Borges might be a little frustrated with these people. And Mr. Borges also might be a little frustrated by the way the pop media have failed to report this properly. How did CNN Online report this? And how did NBC Online report this? They neglected to mention his statement about the sheriff and the head of the schools. Indeed, CNN posted a photograph of Sheriff Israel visiting the young man in the hospital, and then mentioned old news about his family bringing suit against the police and the school system. It almost gave the reader the impression that the young man just wasn't satisfied enough, that he wasn't grateful enough for Mr. Israel visiting him in the hospital. And how did NBC report on this one? Well, NBC used part of an interview from the Today Show and never mentioned what he said in his actual statement upon leaving the hospital. And this statement that they used from the Today Show fit right in with its anti-gun, further curtailment of your Second Amendment rights agenda.
Anthony's close friend, Carlitos Rodriguez, was in lockdown that day.
It shouldn't have happened on February 14th. Shouldn't have happened ever.
Yeah. I think failure is seen everywhere. And can you imagine not allowing this young man who stood in front of a door and got shot 5 times, lost part of a lung, hit 3 times in the leg, while he tried to block a murderous madman from killing 20 other kids in the classroom? Can you imagine? He takes the time to try to say that people failed them, and the pop media fails them as well. Unbelievable. But we can celebrate this young man, and we can celebrate the fact that alternative avenues for news gathering are available to us, and we don't have to rely on these politically correct, politically motivated reporters in the old dinosaur media to tell us what's going on anymore. We're finding out, and we're hearing what this young hero had to say. Congratulations to him, and thank you to him for standing up for himself and for so many other people who didn't have a voice. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.